Wee.
Hello and welcome back to the spooky house of Spooky Housey House.
I can see of tactical ass.
That is an asshole, right?
Rape mode activating.
She must have pulled that up with a pair of pliers. Don't mind me.
Yahtzee's used to tanking rape mode.
Hello, listeners.
It's the most attention he gets.
Stop listening to Gabriel's words coming out of his mouth.
Very.
We're playing Biohazard Remastered again.
Remastered. It was mastered. We remastered it.
Yeah, I made this point once. Surely you've got to master something before you can remaster it.
Rejiggered.
That was the big question hanging over Indigo Prophecy Remastered, if you ask me.
Which one's Indigo Prophecy? Is that the one where you fight a room?
Yes, amongst other things.
Right, okay.
It's funny that you'd pick up on that one thing in particular, where it also contains a lady having sex with a corpse.
That's one of, what's his name? David Chase?
David Cage.
Who's David Chase?
I don't know.
I just make that up.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
Okay, sorry, David Chase. I'm sure David
Chase?
I think he might be a TV person. My brain's
Are you
saying
thinking
something
of
to do
David
with...
Spade?
No, he's a creator. I think he might be the guy who made NYPD Blue or something.
That was
Sopranos. I think
wasn't that Dick Wolf?
No, that Dick Wolf's the Law and Orders.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Why don't you recap what's happened so far in the adventure of the tight pants lady?
Outside's full of lumpy dogs, so we can't go outside. The super police showed up and were beat by lumpy dogs. And then they came in, and the super police with their guns were beat by slow guys who don't move their heads very much. So that was a bit of a walkover.
Yeah. Really trying to have their cake and eat it, Capcom.
Yeah.
I mean... Normally your zombie film is about people who aren't super cops, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what validates kind of the threat. Because when you break it down, kind of like in Walking Dead now, a bunch of zombies in The Walking Dead are nothing. Like, even a big horde, it's like they just take them apart. And that's what you expect. By this stage, there's no reason for them to be getting...
Well, that's always been the major threat of zombies. They just keep coming.
Yeah.
There's no end.
I never get tired.
Oh no! Try to aim down, Jill, that would help. She couldn't remember if it was aiming up or aiming down for dogs. She was just
sometimes horizontal works as well. Yeah, look.
Well, that was far enough away, I'd say.
Yeah, the bullet dropped. That's like gravity and snipers.
Yeah, it dropped like the bass.
Somebody take that and sample it.
I just thought I'd start making a vaguely rhythmic noise and see where it went.
Went somewhere marvelous. Went to Africa where rhythm began.
So what is your goal at the moment? You just finding the shit to put in things?
I shot a dog.
Yep, you shot
which gave me the collar, which is the only way to get dog collars. Well, they don't make them new anymore.
Well, naturally. I mean, where else would one find a dog collar?
Fucks me. So there was a coin in the dog collar.
Bollocks, is that a coin?
Yeah, it is.
That's a Mario coin, that is.
That's a 55-cent piece. And then you examine the coin, and whoa-ho, change the shape of the key.
Oh, of course.
Now,
why didn't I think of that? The key was on the collar of the dog that's outside.
Hidden as a coin. But it's not a key, it's just the shape of a key. It's an imitation key that's kept as a coin in the collar of the dog outside.
Well, it's not much use as a key, I'd have said, because it's only got two teeth and they're the same length.
Yeah,
if that goes into a lock, you could probably pick that lock with a drinking straw.
A stern word. You could just yell at it. Hey, lock, open up.
No. No, I've refused to let down my masters. This is my first day.
At the Tumblr Academy. Okay, now there's something here.
There's a whole lot of candle holders? No, there's no candle on them.
I think they're just pikes.
Well, they're kind of blunt for pikes. Maybe they're just conversation pieces because that's clearly what they provoked. That was vindictive of you, Jill. So the corpses don't go away, do they? They just turn into the red lads.
Redheads, yeah. Which is actually, quite a cool addition to the remake. I think they managed, like, originally on the GameCube. Like, I still rate the GameCube game quite highly. I mean, I don't know if at this juncture, if you've played the GameCube one, I really honestly probably couldn't recommend this.
Have there been many differences between the two versions?
Yeah, I mean, the graphics I think are a really important improvement.
Because we had to turn the texture quality down because my computer's quite old now.
It's depressing.
I don't want to get a new one till after I move.
No, I know. Look, I know why. Totally valid. You should get a good laptop. You know, because aren't you going to be in need of one?
That's my next move once my visa's confirmed. Because I'm going to need a workspace on the go.
Mm-hmm.
But
something
for
you
now,
can use while sitting out there.
For now, I'm just going to see how many bells and whistles I can tear out of Dark Souls 3 to get it to run.
You're going to have a lot of fun surprises with the draw distance you'll have that set to. Like...
Yeah, I'm going to run it in quarter-size window, and all the textures are going to be like 2 pixels by 2 pixels.
It'll look like that 2D remake, or that 2D version of Dark Souls.
Salt and Sanctuary.
Salt and Sanctuary.
That looked comparatively nice to what I'm talking about. Oh, it's happening again.
Doing that thing again.
It just
does. Don't adjust your YouTube.
It just does that now. But we can't keep talking about it every time it happens.
Frame rate chunkier than Jill's butt.
Because it's not the computer overheating. Because I'm not hearing anything. It's probably just a compatibility issue.
Have you updated anything recently?
Well, I've been hesitant to update the driver because it's NVIDIA, and apparently they put out an update recently that wrecked a few computers.
They fixed that. And it didn't wreck them, it was a multiple monitor issue, because it happened to me.
There you go. All well again.
Ah, these are the staffs that hold frame rate.
Just comes and goes.
Look at them. Behold the frames.
Thanks for your help, staffs.
Where are we? Alright.
Stop mattering. Doesn't take you long, does it? Start talking like little girl from The Exorcist. Cocks in hell.
I'll have you know, she fillets penises. She's a classy lady, god damn it.
Yeah, in hell.
And if you're gonna suck cocks anywhere, I mean,
well,
good, nice warm atmosphere, friendly. It'd be like a great swingers party, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
just where everyone's getting their asses burnt off.
Hey, some people like that shit.
Speaking of Dark Souls,
yeah.
There's been a bit of a controversy about that, apparently.
Was it the giant penis monster?
I'm trying to think of what boss in Dark Souls would best fit that description.
That fat grub thing in Dark Souls 2 that rolled on me?
Yeah. That's the good one, the Covetous Demon. For some reason, my mind immediately went to the Rotten and his big plum helmet.
No, see, I thought the covetous demon, and penises are kind of covetous organs, really, like...
That would be quite a diseased and also very shriveled and small penis.
Well, yeah, but it's Dark Souls, maybe it's a penis gone hollow.
Anyway, Dark Souls 3 came out in Japan a few weeks before its release in the West, but apparently there was literally no reason.
Yeah, no, because Aaron has it, and, all you had to do this was, it was a fuck around. You had to get a Japanese Xbox One account.
I feel you need to pause playing on my account.
Get some yen. And then you had Dark Souls 3. And you'd think, is there other menus in Japanese or anything in Japanese? Apparently it's not even defaulted, none of the language settings are defaulted to Japanese. So I don't even know...
Well, they just want to be superior to us gaijin.
Fucking Asians.
I mean, globalization isn't just gonna happen, guys.
Shotgun.
This was the Resident Evil equivalent of the Resident Evil 4 Mansion Siege sequence, was it?
Yeah. No.
Nice. Good fake laugh there.
Can I go in you?
4 guys. It's even that's pretty impressive coordination for zombies, but
Yeah, that was...
Could have picked a better opportunity.
Practically synchronized swimming.
I mean, if they'd actually broken the windows while you were next to them, that might have meant something.
That would have given me the willies. That would have been... I might have jumped from scare.
That would have given you, like your mum, all the willies.
No.
The fixed camera has turned against you.
Get fucked. Give me my knife back.
No, I'm keeping it.
Dick.
As a memento of what a huge dick you are. I see Barry found the A3 sketch pad.
He has amazing handwriting.
Really fucking massive lettering as well.
Yeah.
You found the A3 sketch pad and the giant novelty marker.
An enormous quill.
I guess you're that dumb.
Fucking
You wanted
Jesus.
to make sure. Well, you weren't kidding, Barry, mate.
Where were you keeping all this, Barry?
In his fat belly.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
In his fat Peter Stormare belly.
Zach Barafranakis.
Though apparently it's pronounced Peter Stormare.
Stormare. Whoa.
Which I think I like more, because it's a little more melodic. Stormare,
Yeah, you said
where are you going?
It's fun to sing.
There was a stranger came
I don't
to
wanna get rid
town
of my
one
gun.
day. His name was Peter Stormare. It's like Do Re Mi.
Yeah.
Do Ra Me Fa Sol La Ti Do.
Must be sung. It can only be sung. He's the man of music.
So
Unlike Udo Kier's name, which has to be excreted.
So what's your opinion on this Dark Souls 3 thing? Does it matter a whole bunch?
Well, it's weird.
Sorry to ask a question and then answer it myself, but I think in Dark Souls in particular, it's quite galling because Dark Souls is sort of a game that hinges on community play.
It does go out of its way to emphasize that. Because me and Aaron are playing it, and we're running around and there's no notes.
Yeah, because no one else is playing.
Yeah.
Some people are just going to spoil it all for themselves and be way ahead of everyone and be complete knowing dipshits when it does come out.
I mean, honestly, if you don't get to complain and go watch shitloads of Let's Plays of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's on you. Like, there's like a fire over there, and then you stick your hand in it. That's your fault. You did that.
Yeah, first I'm not as bothered because I don't really engage with the community.
Neither do I. I didn't even know you were supposed to do that in the first one. I thought, like...
If I get stuck on things, I look something up, and then sometimes I'll notice another thing that says, by this point, you should have the super-duper sword. And I'm like, I don't have the super-duper sword.
I don't have that yet.
I'd better go back and find it.
Everything's hurting me.
Always find new things. I was replaying Symphony of the Night this weekend, and I've something happened that has never previously happened to me in my previous playthroughs. I found a sword called the Chrysegrim. I found it as a random drop from a monster. I don't know if it actually spawned somewhere. I never found it. But you know weapons in games that you don't want to use because it seems totally unsporting and things get boring really fast.
Was it that good?
It's that, yeah. It was like the entire space in front of you to like a bastard sword length. It just gets filled with slashing blades. And it's just like constant damage at every frame for every enemy caught in it.
Wow.
And like 70 damage each frame, so literally you just spam that in front of a boss and it's dead in 5 seconds. And it seems really, really broken, and I'm not surprised if it is just an incredibly rare drop.
Huh. I'm gonna look that thing up.
Well, good luck looking it up. It's called the Chrysegrim. Like a kissogram, but the spelling's really weird.
Footprints look like the head straight through the bed. Wonder what could be going on there. Maybe like under the bed. I swear I'm supposed to look under the bed. Alright.
There was a ink thingy there.
Yeah, but I don't have the space for it, and I don't know if I really need it.
Oh, yeah, because you're playing the pussy mode for the pussies, which surely must mean that is what you are.
Mm-hmm. Large gaping vagina. It goes in the breeze.
All right, and with that colourful image in mind, let's go to some questions. Oh, let's not actually, because
Hey, Professor X.
Here's Peter Stormare, who's doing his homework.
Barry, I didn't mean to get you that excited.
Heard that one before.
Anyway, you should read this.
That's what Barry's wife says to him every single night.
Put it away, Barry. Put it away. Read it.
Alma? Oh, read it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like you're a lover sending to Alma and she's not going to see you.
Alma, I've tried to survive only to see you again, but my efforts only delayed the inevitable. I am infected, and there is no cure for what will follow, except to end my life before I lose the only thing that separates me from them. My love for you. In an hour I'll have entered my eternal sleep where there is peace. Please understand. Please know that I'm sorry. Martin Crackhorn.
And I don't care.
From Birmingham.
Well, I guess we were right about this mansion being quite unnatural.
Move away with understatements.
How about we, like, stay together? And,
Guess is that
you know, we could
No.
use my brain and your forearm muscles.
No, you must split up. You will cover more ground that way. I think he wanted her to follow him.
Yeah.
He said, let's continue our investigation. Leave room. And then she just stared gormlessly at the desk. It's like when you're... You know, when you're in school and you're not sure if the teacher wants you to follow them or not.
Come on. Come on. Come on, little man.
That's a big-ass coat in the background. It'll be very baggy on Jill.
Nothing.
Is there significance in that there's 2 of one kind and 4 of another?
Probably not. Alright. So we're gonna have to...
I hate that key items are involved in the limited inventory space as well.
Yeah, like, but that's the whole point, is you're meant to... You know, they have to find a way to make you not have just all the weapons on you at once.
Still, it's not as bad as Silent Hill 4, where ammo didn't stack. Quite. Right, questions. Gabe,
Yo.
as a health nut,
Uh-huh.
is that what you are now? Because I just saw him eat a 7-Eleven sandwich, and it was quite revolting to behold.
Okay, I don't know if you understand, like, how those sandwiches work. Like, they're perfectly fine.
I know they're churned out of a big machine that
Yeah, what do you think the machine... do you think it poops in there? Like, how do you...
They feed it pig buttholes and spit. But anyway, what do you think of vegans? And do you have any diet dogmas you strictly adhere to? That's from Jake P. Frag. Well, he's allergic to everything. I don't know if that counts.
Well, yeah, I mean... Personally, I don't think it's even really fucking possible for me to be a vegan, exactly. If
Well,
not,
they like
it'd
their
be-
nuts, don't they?
Yeah,
they like
well,
their nut
there's-
cutlets.
There's a lot of things. Well, soy. I mean, I'm massively allergic to soy, and a lot of stuff is fucking soy based. I mean, I know I can have the vegan hot dogs that are made from wheat protein extract, so I know that there's that. Personally, I don't have a problem with eating animals. I buy the free range shit. The kangaroo meat I buy is game hunted.
Yeah.
So,
Also, we evolved first. Fuck 'em. That's our prize.
yeah. No, I will not press a switch because I know we're not done yet. I know shenanigans are afoot.
You know what? I don't mind vegans. You do you. I don't like evangelical vegans.
Well, I think, like, when someone says, what do you think of vegans, they don't mean, like, the vegans that mind their own business.
No, I guess not.
Like, no one's like, oh, what do you think about the person who just does something by themselves in their home that doesn't affect you? Nobody says that.
Fuck those people.
Fuck those people specifically.
What a bunch of antisocial tools.
Yeah.
I hate the ones who extend it to their pets as well. That's very irresponsible.
That's, like, actual cruelty. You're not allowed to try and feed a cat a fucking vegan diet.
Yeah,
that doesn't
they're
work.
super carnivores, those lads.
Yeah, they're actual, like...
Short intestines. Requires quickly digested food. Oh.
Diddly-dee!
Da-da-da-da! You found a cupcake.
Oi, fuck off, you puff cunt.
That's not even a zombie hornet. It's just a hornet.
Gutsy. It's a zombie.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Yes.
It's not even a bee.
All for Gabriel. I think it's a bee.
Sure. It's a hornet. It's one of those Japanese hornets, the massive, frightening
A
ones.
horn bee. Dude, those are fucking scary. Like, even Australian hornets are fucking big.
Hornbee. It's a model train.
Is that a British thing?
Yes.
Okay.
See who gets that. Yahtzee, what is the first game you ever thought as a child was absolute wank on a sandwich? That's from Dragon's Man 767.
Was it one of those, like, private school games you play where you actually wank on a sandwich?
It's really hard to say, because when you're a kid, you don't really think of things as being bad. You got a sort of natural loyalty, and you assume if you're not getting something, it's your fault rather than the
Well,
thing.
then, sometimes you're just happy to be playing a video game.
Yeah, I played a whole bunch of games on the C64, but I didn't remember specifically thinking any of them were really bad. I don't think I can really remember the first time I perceived a game as being bad. I remember reading bad reviews of games in magazines, and if I thought the game was bad after that, it was probably just because I was co-opting that opinion. Still, there
I
was,
don't know, by the
remember,
SNES era, I was definitely like, this is unplayable shit.
I remember there was one specific developer on the Commodore 64 who released a couple of games, and I didn't usually keep track of what developers, but I could tell these specific games were made by this one developer because they kept reusing the same art assets, and the games were generally kind of shitty. That's the first thing that springs to mind.
What games?
It's really hard to remember now. I think one of the games was called Superboy, and you literally killed enemies just by flying into them. Just by maneuvering your character into them from the side.
Huh.
And they disappear in just the word POW.
So, like, some kind of weird reverse Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I'm really straining the old childhood memories for that little nugget, though. So can't give you much more than that. What about you? You remember your first bad game?
The first one I can remember taking back to the fucking, like, video store. It's Helmet. Was... Oh, come on, brain. Not Demolition Man. What's the other one?
Would it have been...
Time Cop. Time Cop for the SNES.
Okay.
I recommend downloading and having a look at it, just because it'll take you like 30 seconds.
Okay, I won't be doing that, but okay.
Well, not you, but you know the listeners. If you want to see just amazing shit, like even for it, like there was no excuse for a game to be this bad. It was almost like people went out of their way to make a fucking terrible, terrible, terrible game.
That's a lofty title. Worst tie-in game from the SNES era.
Yeah, like this is.
Was it worse than Home Improvement? Or Wayne's
yes.
World?
Wayne's World's a bad but playable platformer.
A lot of them were just generic platformers with, the imagery pasted on.
Yeah, like Beavis and Butthead was pretty similar. Like they were all just.
There was an adventure game of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I have it. It's quite good.
Am I right in saying it was called Virtual Stupidity?
Yes, you were.
Haha! My bottomless trivia knowledge of the history of video games wins out again.
Yeah, I've got Virtual Stupidity is a really good game. Well, I mean, it's a adventure game, but
I'm remembering there was also a golf game called Bunghole in One.
I think that started out as fucking push the. No.
Did it start out as like a mini game in something else?
Yeah, I think it was a mini game in Virtual Stupidity.
That sounds about right. There were a few mini games.
All right, I can't push that.
I very clearly remember one where you have to spit off a roof on people. Ha ha! You're a big dead lady. Hope you're saved.
Yeah.
And now you're having your period. That was
your baby is dead.
What an awful thing for me to say. But what do you want from me, guys? A big red splatter came out of her crotch.
It's practically set you right up for it.
Gabriel and Yahtzee. That's us. What is your favourite form of fictional currency? That's from Infinitum Dividatur.
Bison dollars.
The Nigerian dollar.
No.
Pretty close to fictional at this point. Can't get much less valuable if it was.
Okay, so I don't have the wind thing. Alright, so it was before I did that.
Boy, that was a dumb question.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was meant to go.
With Yahtzee's announced interest in random generation systems, I prefer procedural, have either of you played Darkest Dungeon by Red Hook Studios? That's from Stubbs314. I have, actually. It's faintly reminiscent of Consuming Shadow, actually, but it's turn-based combat. You move your characters horizontally along flat 2D dungeons, and you run into monsters on the way and fight them. And your characters go insane. And you lose.
That sounds fun.
And it's a much more disposable character sort of thing. It's not the Consuming Shadow short gameplay, easy to die, try again. It's more long-form games, more XCOM-like. You hire adventurers and they die off pretty easily.
Those adventurers.
And I've never really gotten into it, though. I mean, because between levels, I feel there's a whole bunch of admin in, like, the connecting town thing that I just find kind of annoying.
So, what do you mean by admin? Like, just fiddling?
Yeah, just fiddling with characters, putting them into recovery, getting their upgrades sorted. And there's not really a clear sense of what we're working towards. It's just explore the scary house.
Goal is important.
I think so. That's why in Consuming Shadow, I hang a great big timer over your head. Have you bought Consuming Shadow yet? Everyone should.
Buy it.
Yeah, that got added to the curated page after I whined about it. Whining works.
Just ask fat women on the internet.
Yes. I'd say fat men as well, actually.
Are there fucking fat rights dudes now?
Well, I'm just saying, you know, whiny dudes, one tends to have an image of them as being fat.
I just hope it's not like the
You know,
the
whiny friend zone type.
Yeah, well, that's what, you know, it's fat girls are the friend zone whiners of women. You deserve to find me attractive.
I think that's a generalization.
Or
Oh,
fall down some steps.
you found the cupcake again.
Ah,
So it was just hanging out there.
yeah, it kind of put up with an awful lot of fucking around. Like, was it trained to do that?
Highly trained agent right there. Flailing about like one of them things outside car dealerships.
Dude, have you ever had like a big hornet get near your head?
Well, I've had scary insects around me, and you know what I did? I swatted them off. Once. With a single stroke of the hand.
What kind of insect?
You know,
Oh, get it in ya.
just when wasps are taking an interest in the morsels in your moustache.
Oh!
Whoa! That was quite a Michael Jackson dance move he did there to get off the ground.
Still going.
Whoopee! He must have some crazy calf strength.
Yeah, actually. It is all in the legs, that back arc stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you were gonna lift yourself up in that specific sort of Dracula way, you'd need to be able to do it entirely with the lower leg muscles, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the abdominals really only come into it at the top.
What are both of your thoughts on the military? And have either of you considered joining? That's from Dapoon King. Taking a break from his regal duties
Overseeing Poon.
in the land of Poon.
The sleeping night. Alright, so I gotta look at this. Alright.
Have you ever considered joining the military?
No.
Okay then. I considered it once. In the period after I left school and was just stuck at
And
home
neat.
doing nothing for 4 years. I thought, you know,
Neat.
it's like the full package. You learn a skill, have a job, have some kind of impact on the world. I didn't want to have to, you know, fight anything. I thought maybe I could try for the engineering corps. But yeah, nothing much came of it.
Alright, so I can't push him to the side. Alright, so help me out here. You have a brain.
Yes, I do. It's in my head.
Alright, so there's shield. Do you think that's the order? Like, I'm trying to work out, because... I mean, okay, that has like a circle around it. So what is that? Is that a sword?
There's
No, it's not a sword.
There's a shield. There's an axe. Look at them again. Go back to the pictures. Shield, axe. The last one looks like a spear. And the third
it's
one
like
is
a
just
lance.
whatever's left over.
So a sword. So there's sword, there's axe, there's shield.
There's a shield.
I'm presuming that's lance. And it's... Alright, so we'll push in Mr. Sword first and see what happens.
Well, it says shield first.
Well, it has a little circle around it, see?
Oh.
But they sort of all do. I'm trying to
back-
figure out what the fuck this... Because I can't like... No, well,
Okay.
there's no, like, I'm not rearranging them, so it's an order thing.
Yeah. Okay, something's
I
playing.
think it's one of these... I think I know what's going on
I
here.
thought you finished this game.
I haven't played it in fucking eons.
You-
Okay,
you
so...
don't remember anything about this.
No. That, and I just finished playing through Resident Evil 2, and I'm also playing Resident Evil Code Veronica. Okay, alright.
So it's it's the lights out puzzle. Pushing one thing undoes another thing. So let's find out if it's consistent with what it undoes. Doesn't look like it. So you push in the shield guy, and
Alright.
nothing else happens.
I think that pulled the sword guy back.
And then the axe guy.
A bunch of wise guys.
Push the sword guy in.
Alright. Yeah, because you're good at these little puzzles. I fucking hate these things.
I'm flying kind of blind, if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
Now push the guy with the halberd in.
How? No. Oh, yeah, I can see it now. Oh, there goes sword guy. Okay, now I think if I push this one in, because this one seemed to move those other two out, so maybe it'll move them both back.
No, it didn't. We pushed that one in and nothing happened, remember?
Well, maybe... Okay, well, what's your suggestion then?
I don't know. Is it consistent what moves back in when we push something in? I don't think it is.
I think it's... I don't think they shift the other ones back. I don't think it's like it just moves one. I think it'll only push them out. So I think that's the thing. So I'm expecting them to just move, where it's not. It's a moving out is the only function.
Do you want me to...
So that definitely moves that out.
Right. And when you push that back in, that moved out.
Moves that out. Okay, so we'll test this again. So we've... Right.
So
okay.
So that always happens. Now push the shield man.
Yeah, we haven't fondled a shield bro in a little bit.
That
okay, so it does move them back as well. Alright.
Pushes him in.
Okay, so shield bro moves them back.
Okay,
well, if I push shield bro back...
Now push shield in again.
Yeah.
There you go. Now they're all in. If that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Fuck yeah, I presume so. Dun dun!
Da-na-na-na. Again.
However, frisbee of achievement.
What with all this controversy surrounding Star Fox Wii U's Invincible mode, do you think this is indicative of games becoming increasingly undemanding, or simply an effort to cater to a wider audience? From Brazenhead89. I don't think I heard this story, but from this, what you're saying, it sounds like Star Fox Wii U will have an easy mode where you can't lose, and you're invincible. Which would... I don't think that would even make it the first game to have one of those.
Got one of the masks.
I mean, there are plenty of games where they just have a mode that's just no challenge and enjoy the story.
Like what we're doing now, basically.
Pretty much like this.
I mean, if it's... I don't give a shit about optional things.
This feels like reaching for a controversy, if you ask me. There's plenty of games that have had options that... that's sort of not something I'd be interested in.
Fuck, the armor key opens up a lot.
But the keyword is option, of course.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit. I just won't use it.
Do you think it's putting temptation in the hearts of man?
Making people fat, making the children fat and greedy.
Teaching our kids the wrong lesson. That there's always an easy out.
If life's hard, just cry and Nintendo will make it better.
No, I don't think this is one of the things you need to worry too much about, lads.
No, neither would I.
I mean, worry about games that have no gameplay and you can't lose. Like most of the stuff David Cage makes.
Cage. Didn't he say that like game overs were a failure of the developer?
Well, if he did, that would just prove my point. That he's a big, stupid, dumb face.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Alright, then we are agreed. David Cage is a big, stupid, dumb face.
Yeah.
Such as that one. And that one as well. Yeah, that's the dumbest of the lot.
Yeah, that's David Cage face. Cage face! We've replaced...
Bleh. I look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain.
I'm Dirty Mouth. Remember to brush your teeth, kids.
Ooh, here's a big one. What are your thoughts on the Overwatch controversy? From Jacob Ormrod. Now, to fill in the space for future archivists, this refers to the recent story in which there was literally like one complaint about a character having a sexy pose in Overwatch.
That lots of other characters had.
And
it wasn't even really sexy.
That wasn't even that sexy. And Blizzard just went, oh, I'm so sorry, slurp, slurp, lick, lick, we took it out. Do you think this speaks worse of the audience, that specific person who requested the change, or Blizzard themselves?
I don't blame Blizzard for shitting their fucking cacks at the... Because, again, these digital bitch kriegs can fuck you up. Like,
well, only if you let them.
I mean, yeah, I say that, you say that, but, you know, We have to. Someone has to stand up and go, "Fuck you."
Do you think any of the core audience of Overwatch were going to stop playing it if they left it in?
I don't think the core audience of fucking Street Fighter were going to stop playing, or even notice the fucking Mika butt slap. But that got fucking.
So I think those developers could have very easily just said, "Fuck off, you prudish tools," and not lost nary a thing.
Oh no, I believe they could. I also understand why they're being like a giant big pile of pussies.
I think it speaks to a sort of design by committee attitude.
Yeah.
This whole let's show every detail of our game and tweak everything everyone slightly objects to until it's perfectly bland and flat.
Yeah, I thought the purpose of a beta was gameplay balancing.
There is no artistic value in something that offends nobody. Would you think that's an agreeable statement?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, like, there's offense, and then there's the tiny little baby tantrums that people go on about these days. I mean, I like art that says, I like art that does something, and if it bugs me, then I just go, oh, this probably isn't for me, and then I just don't engage in it. If it's really, I mean, it has to do something, fairly fucking severe before I'll, not at least have a look. It has to suck, basically.
What if it had a character rape a baby? Yes,
I'd probably definitely play that.
Well,
no, can't get me.
Foiled by objects required by gameplay.
Alright, I gotta go back upstairs.
So let's explore this parameter. In what circumstance would raping a baby be acceptable?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean by acceptable. Like,
I mean,
acceptable for what reason? For my own personal taste, for whether or not it's going to make a. I've watched Serbian film.
What would turn you off the game?
Well, again, gameplay is the big fucking thing for me.
All right. So what if it paused gameplay so you could watch someone raping a baby?
Well, okay. The first game to have the baby rape scene is going to get away with it purely because it's the first.
I'm bored of saying baby rape. Let's just use euphemisms. How the
junior cuddle.
I'm just going to use completely unrelated words like
Richard.
No one's saving you from that haircut.
Cucumber paste.
Wounded.
The first game that had a cucumber paste.
Yeah, that's going to get away with a lot because you can just the first people to do something shocking. It's interesting. It's the second and third people who try the same fucking shock that it just becomes fucking valueless and pointless.
One guy pastes the cucumber. Suddenly everyone's pasting a cucumber.
Yeah, and then then who fucking cares?
Because they think that'll get them the attention, and they didn't really understand the principle of novelty.
So I mean, I don't know.
Who's this
You're gonna make it.
cucumber paster?
Richard, the cucumber paster.
I see. That's what his business card says.
Damn it, I wasn't listening. I forgot. Now I gotta go do something. I
said-
think I gotta go find Rebecca.
He said he wanted serum.
Oh!
I picked up on that much.
Fuck, I forgot the game. The game just tells you where shit is these days.
My
So
God.
nice of it.
They're right. Games have gotten pussified. We must take them back for the real men
Real man!
who like watching butts and don't complain.
I just... I always find... Like, my complaints are mine. And I don't expect... Even people I think are fucking shit. Like, I don't expect Michael Bay to change how he makes movies to make me happier. I don't expect people who make music I don't like to change how they make their music at all. I think they should ignore me. They should tell me to get fucked.
But what if you don't feel welcomed by that community?
That used to be what defined being a fucking geek, was being unwelcome. So I'm just used to that. I don't care. Some communities have, like, an uphill. Like, they have gates that you have to sort of progress through to get through. If you don't feel welcome...
Maybe some women feel unwelcome in the geek community.
I know loads who do.
Okay, then. Well, we solved sexism forever.
Well, no, I just, your problems are, a lot of the time, just fucking yours.
Okay, then. Redundant statement of the day. If a movie was made about one or both of you, who would play you and what would be the plot? That's from Droid736. Droid_736.
So not Droid736.
Well, no.
Right.
As I said, Droid_736.
Okay.
There's a subtle distinction.
Yeah, because I fucking hate Droid736.
Yeah, but Droid_736, he's a
He's a rad dude.
He's good people.
Yeah.
Who would play you in a film? Have we answered this?
It feels like a question we've already gone through, but I can't remember. Alright, what's that about?
Wasn't there an Angry Video Game Nerd film?
I don't know.
I think there was. Because they just released a new game that sort of ties into it a little bit.
Oh, they're on the steps. Oh, he's not on the steps anymore.
I'm not sure I'd want a live-action film made about me. If it did, I'd want it to go on a sort of quirky odyssey. I mean, when I was making Hatfall, the one thing I wanted to avoid totally was that plot where you go, Yahtzee Kosher has been sucked inside his computer and has to fight all the video games he's reviewed with his magic criticism gun. Which is sort of what the Angry Video Game Nerd game does. I wanted to, replicate the feel of Zero Punctuation in a game. Random, absurd humour.
Titties just coming out of the walls.
So if it was a...
Fart jokes.
So if they did make a Zero Punctuation film, I'd want it to be a sort of crazy Yellow Submarine style odyssey of imagery and weird jokes.
I think doing it like one of the old Band movies would actually probably fit it more than anything else. One of those ones where there's sort of a story, but like it kind of gets ignored for big chunks just for shenanigans.
And not just some like a swap-in plot about having to get to the big criticism festival in time.
No. You're the opening act at the big criticism festival, dude. You have to get there, though.
Oh no, and I have a flat tire.
Yeah.
I have to get a ride with a quirky sidekick.
It's just a fucking
played by
chick
you.
in a bikini, and I pilot a biplane.
And I would be played by Malcolm McDowell.
I better go fucking heal Dickface. It was Dickface. Oh, that's right, he's in there. Alright, I'm a-coming, Dickface.
Doing his Alex DeLarge voice.
Get fucked. Wonder how long Malcolm McDowell's gonna hang on for.
Well, he's still literally taking any work that he's offered.
I kind of like that about him. He's got that,
Well, he's a working actor.
yeah, like that's
he?
a British term. Like
don't-
working. Like I was thinking of what's his name.
Working actors don't turn their noses up
Nah.
at work.
It's like going to the mines.
If you can pay their fee, they'll be consummate professionals about whatever content you put in front of them.
Yeah, Michael Caine. That's the other name that comes to mind.
Yeah, he was a working actor.
Yeah. Jaws: The Revenge, which is a comically awful film.
Yes, and which of course originated that famous quote attributed to Michael Caine when he was asked if he'd seen it, and he said, "No, I haven't, but I've seen the house it bought, and it's lovely. Thank you very much."
Yeah, I'd do Jaws: The Revenge for a house.
Laurence Olivier used to be like that as well. Apparently, people asked him why he took certain roles. He said, "For the money, dear boy."
Yeah, it was like I remember seeing William H. Macy interviewed about like fucking whatever that movie is, Jurassic Park 3. And he just kept talking about, like, and he made a really weird point of every time he got asked about what it was like working on there, he'd just look up and go, boy, it's got special effects. And it's, they paid, it was a really, really well-paying job, and I enjoyed working for it. And it's just like, okay, we get it.
There's another story, I think it was Laurence Olivier. He was working on, I think it was Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman. And they were doing a scene where Dustin Hoffman's character was supposed to have been kept awake for like 3 days. So he'd actually stayed awake 3 days to be in the right sort of mental conditioning to play the role.
That's risky, because sleep deprivation does fucked up things to you.
And when that was established to Laurence Olivier, he said, "Have you tried acting?"
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch.
Fucking goddamn, Lawrence.
Stone Cold Larry. As he used to be called in the Wild West. What is the most annoying cliche which pops up in video game stories? That's from Andromedae 17.
The one that pops to mind straight away, which kind of marred an otherwise really great game, was in the most recent Wolfenstein. Not the zombie one, but like the main game that came out first.
The New Order.
Yeah, the New Order. Because in that movie, you get captured and escape like 4 fucking times.
Yeah, it starts becoming a running joke.
Yeah, and
You just get stabbed and keep unstabbing yourself and soldiering on.
And I mean, once, fine. Like, it really does happen like 3 or 4 times. Like, the major one where it's like you get put in the fucking compound and you have to, like, you know, come up with a thing to get out. That's fine, because that's a major gameplay and story mechanic. Yeah. But it just keeps fucking happening. I was just like,
I just feel like they're just inconveniencing you.
Oh, what are you doing in here? Stop it.
Inconvenience here just for gameplay's sake.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I'd say pretty much all the terrible...
Fucking...
Yeah, what's going on with this guy?
Fucking invincible behind the fucking...
He's, got tricks up his sleeve.
Well, that guy took a lot of bullets.
Are you sure this was easy mode?
I don't know.
Maybe he was just the one hard guy in easy mode.
It's too dark. I'm gonna fix that.
I think all the cliches of video game stories that annoy me are rooted in, you know, artificially extending the gameplay somehow. Like the illogical betrayal. Character just betrays you and goes, "Ha ha, I betrayed you." Even though you have killed literally everyone who crossed you up to this point, I think I'm going to be the exception.
Betrayal stories are always, like, risky, because it's hard then to have a position where that character hasn't been actively working against their own interests for no reason. Like, I find they fuck that up a lot when it gets, like, kind of sneakily written in. Like, I think Iron Man 3 had a bad case of that with the girl who betrays him, where it's just like, there were points where she could have revealed this. Oi!
Comes into it in Resident Evil a fair bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The illogical betrayals. By the end of every game, everyone's either dead, turned evil, or is one of the 1 or 2 survivors.
Was always evil. Ugh. Didn't see that coming, did you, butthole?
I think it was... Well, this is probably fair enough because it was a campy game, but in Dead Rising, that's very egregious. Characters just turning evil for really for the stupidest reasons.
Dead Rising is a very campy series.
Well, yes.
You know, anything that can let me run around with a fucking Lego head in my undies and...
It's a little bit creepy camera angle you got going on there, Richard. Watch me.
Richard Vision.
Watch me saunter into the room. Hey, dude, there's 2 green herbs over there.
I know, right?
Can you crawl? Can you manage to crawl yourself 3 feet?
It's fine. I've been eating these things all day. They're fucking great. They might be related to cocaine, I'm not sure. I'm itchy. Itchy all the time.
Itchy and tasty.
Yeah.
Yahtzee, what would you change about Stardew Valley to make it last longer or have a longer end game? From Rot Hope. Yeah, see the thing about Stardew Valley is that it's like Harvest Moon. You play it for like 3 years. But I think it was around the start of year 2, I basically ran out of shit to do. My farm was making more money than I could ever spend. I just had a huge pile of it like Scrooge McDuck. I'd married someone, I had a kid, I'd gotten to the bottom of the dungeon. The one thing I had left, I think, was to explore the second dungeon, but there was just this huge ramping in difficulty
growing.
Thank you for your contribution, Gabriel. But there was just this huge ramping of difficulty to the next dungeon, and it just wasn't that fun. I kept getting killed and getting dragged back to the town hospital.
Okay, wait, there are dungeons in the fucking farming game?
Yeah, to pass the time, to give you something to do.
Okay.
There's like a tier, like 100 levels of dungeons with very basic wave a sword at monsters combat.
I want a game that does that, like, you know, you get married, and then, like, after, like, 3 years, you wonder what's going on, and then slowly it descends into Fight Club. Like, you have, like, 1 year of horrible, meaningless gameplay that just makes you get really bored, and if you plow through, suddenly it becomes, like, this weird strategic fighter.
That would be a bit of a hard sell.
Yeah.
I've often said I don't accept the argument it gets better later. Because I don't want to have fun later, I want to have fun now, thanks.
Well, I mean, the Stardew Valley was fun, wasn't it?
Well, for a given value of fun, it's
fuck, I do. I didn't realise I was able to control it again.
Is that Psycho Mantis? What's he doing here?
It's like Chris Angel. He's gonna mind freak me.
Metal Gear Solid's pretty good for the illogical betrayals as well.
Metal Gear Solid is good for illogic.
I mean, Revolver Ocelot was illogical betrayal the character.
I'm back from the dead again. And,
I'm a sextuple agent. Whoops, sorry, I meant septuple agent. Ha ha ha.
No, you thought I worked for the secret society that controlled the world. I work for the actual secret society that controls the world, that uses that secret society as a cover.
Oh, but actually I'm using them.
Yeah, for
to
my
further,
own personal...
further my own agenda, which was given to me by Big Boss, who I also betrayed.
Yeah. And then I'm really Jesus. Finn.
Jesus, Finn?
Yeah. He's this really cool guy that hangs out in MI7-11. He's got some great ideas.
Is it me, or is this conversation jumping around all over the place?
Yeah, man. It's like a 5-year-old playing Mario.
A question for both Yahtzee and Gabe.
Shit.
Ooh. What character trait can instantly turn you off an otherwise pleasant person?
Well, clearly nothing, because I'm friends with Yahtzee.
Massive racism. Not just like a casual, I'm not racist but kind of thing. Just suddenly saying, I murdered a black guy last night. That'd be a bit of a deal breaker.
Well, that's also murder.
Yeah.
What if he was black?
Well,
Are you more okay with murderers than you are racists?
Well, then I consider it a little bit weird that he specified that he murdered a black guy.
He's internalized his racism.
Well, they say most murderers stay within their own ethnic group.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Because, murder is, in many ways, psychologically, a destruction of the self.
Where haven't I opened yet?
Well, I suppose I'm annoyed by people who eat loudly. I'm one of those people who get really edgy when I hear eating noises.
It's because he's afraid the mouths are coming to nibble on him.
Some people are fine with it, some people aren't, and I really aren't.
See, I've grown up around, I know people... I've heard the phrase, I'm racist, but... So, I'm used to being around people who are good people, but also giant racists. But I mean, people who... Yeah, no,
I'm racist, but some black people are nice.
Yeah, I've actually been around people who nominally, they describe themselves as racist, but in their actions and in how they live, they're not racist. It's really... It's fun to watch.
See, my reading of racist is someone who assumes that a particular group of characteristics is common to all members of a single race.
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily include hatred. I think in modern terms it's usually used to imply hatred.
Yeah.
But in the strict definition, I think that's what
I think
it
we're
is.
getting onto the vegan thing, where there's vegans, and then there's vegans.
That's why I'm confused when people talk about how it's not possible to be racist against whites. Of course it is. Of course you can attribute certain qualities to all white people.
Oh, but Yahtzee, then I don't get to be a piece of shit and still think I'm a good person.
I mean, the fact that white people collectively have in total more power than other races in the Western world doesn't...
Well, in the Western world,
doesn't...
Shit's changing fairly hectically.
Doesn't make it logically sound to generalize them. Because generalization is never logically sound, except in cases like generally black people have darker skin.
Which would be why they're called black people. The blacks.
Perhaps we should just call them chocolate people.
Chocolate, vanilla, caramel.
How about some hot chocolate, baby?
Some swirl.
We're awful people. Moving on, I'm going to scroll down, so I'm going to take focus away from
Resident Evil
for a second. It's the time for a new Fuck, Marry, Kill. Survival.
I'm gonna fuck that neck hole. That's what I'm gonna fuck.
Thank you. Survival Horror Edition. Heather Mason from Silent Hill, Jill Valentine from Resident Evil, this one, and Alexandra Roivas from Eternal Darkness. That's from Gabriel M. Facts.
Alexandra.
Fuck, marry, or kill.
Yeah, I'm saying it over my head. Which one's Heather Mason from?
Protagonist of Silent Hill 3, adopted daughter of Harry Mason.
I don't really remember Silent Hill 3 that much. I don't think I'm going to be much contribution to this. You probably know these characters. Well, maybe. See, that's the thing. You don't really know Jill. Whereas I know her personality.
I've played through 5 and 6.
Those aren't the best.
No, I'm sure they aren't.
Those aren't the best Jill moments.
Wait, was Jill in 6?
Probably. I honestly...
I'm not sure she was, thinking about it.
The game's just a blur of angry to me.
Because she was in 5 because she was turned evil, but you turned her back. And then in 6, it's cut between Leon and his new lady friend.
Where am I going?
What's her name? The little girl who is now the big girl and the evil son of Albert Wesker guy.
Beef champion.
And there's Chris Redfield and the other new guy. So no, Jill Valentine wasn't in that. I had to think about it. Does she have a support role? I can't even remember now. That whole game just sort of blurs together for me.
I hate that game. Game is ass.
Well, anyway,
Ass.
I would fuck. Bleh. See, the trouble with two of these is that they don't really have a personality.
Yeah, that's a big problem for me. Is there's just
Jill Valentine doesn't, and Alexandra Roivas doesn't. Her name is Savior backwards. Subtle, guys. Well, fuck it. Can I just fuck and marry Heather Mason and kill the other two? I mean, ideally, I'd like a marriage to include fucking at some point.
the occasional root.
I'm sorry, I require physical intimacy. That's just important part of relationships for me.
You want your peen to have the sheen.
My mummy didn't hug me enough.
Huzzah! It's unlocked.
So, do you know any of these characters? Do you know Alexandra Roivas? Have you played Eternal Darkness?
Yeah, I had a GameCube. I also
Okay,
played Eternal Darkness.
who would you have between Jill Valentine and her?
Alexandra.
Pretty
She has a personality. It's as if you haven't played.
I don't think she does. She's just there to be the bridging narrative between the actual chapters of that game.
Was that a helmet lock? It was a helmet lock. I don't need helmet.
I guess she was a bit impatient with that police guy at the start.
I don't need helmets, Yahtzee.
That just seemed like generic heroine behavior to me.
Generic. Well, who would you... let's just... I don't... Too many of these characters are quite similar.
Yeah, I mean, Jill Valentine and Alexandra Roivas, they even got the same hairdo. Let's just skip that.
Yep.
Dear Mr. Crowshaw, spelt wrong. Or Gabe if it applies. You've mentioned in several cities your distaste for the city of Coventry. What has Coventry done to receive your ire? From Dash the Fox.
I don't even remember you saying anything about Coventry.
I've mentioned a couple of times when I needed a generic sort of...
place to rip on.
Yeah, shitty place. Because that was just the closest city to where I grew up. I grew up in a town, Coventry was the nearest city. And it was just sort of flat and grey and miserable. And there was...
UK industrial towns.
If you're into history, Coventry is the city where Lady Godiva made her famous ride. And by God, do they try to milk that for as much mileage as they can. They got a Godiva shopping centre, they got a Godiva statue, they got a little Godiva clock, where a little Lady Godiva on a horse goes around.
Wow, you are not fucking joking. Godiva on the brain.
Shake what your mama gave you, I guess.
Who doesn't like them?
What specifically would make a game cross the line from being dark in tone to being edgy?
Baby rape.
Okay, cucumber pasting. That's from Dan Super Dragon.
By edgy, do you think they mean like the sort of pejorative description or use of the term edgy? Like,
I suppose it's when people are sort of angsty and edgy beyond the point where it would hinder them.
Fucking Iori Yagami from the goddamn King of Fighters series.
I always think Kratos is an edgy character just because he's angry for literally no reason.
After this, yeah,
And
like...
he alienates people who are trying to help him and then kills them and takes the thing they were offering him. That's the point where it's edgy for me.
Hard to go through the last
Where it's
game.
just really unreasonably angry about people who have really done nothing to deserve it. I didn't kill your daughter, Kratos. Who did? Oh, right. It was you, you twat.
You're a dick, Kratos. You're the dick.
It was probably a mistake making sequels to God of War 1 at all, because they kind of wrapped up the character of Kratos in the first game.
It really did, and then it was like, wait, this might be successful.
They were like, oh, I'm seeking redemption. Oh, been denied redemption. Well, better kill myself then.
Now I'm the god of war, and look, here's me in World War II and shit. And
Yeah, they're going to sit on a throne looking moody for the rest of time.
which, you know...
That's a concluded
ending,
arc.
yeah, that was...
Yahtzee, how differently do you play a game you are planning to review than one you are playing for fun? From Kin Metit. Qin Metit.
So QIN, I mean, if...
Qin Metit. Qin in Metit. Qin for tits. You don't have to queue for tits. We've got them on the
You got
internet now.
Into tits.
I mean, unless you're a piglet.
QI ain't it? Well, I mean, the thing
Unless
is,
you're a piglet and all your mum's nipples are taken.
borrow the local dogs. We've all seen the YouTube clips.
Well, I guess when I'm playing a game for fun, the games I usually play just to unwind at the end of the day are games I can play while I'm listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video. So they tend to be just sort of mindless stuff I can do with my hands. But if I'm actually reviewing a game, there are some games that I've been playing to review in which I have started listening to a podcast, but only after a certain amount of time when I realised I had to put something on or I was going to fucking fall asleep. The Witness springs to mind, which as an artistic choice has no music or like soundscape to create a sort of sense of eerie silence.
What's The Witness? That doesn't ring a bell.
It's that puzzle game by Jonathan Blow. Very pretentious.
Ah, good. That's nice.
And
Good for him. Games are art. Good to be pretentious.
but if I, it was so boring, and the silence had become part of
you
the
just
boredom
don't
at that point.
get it. You're not art brain yet.
Well,
Yahtzee.
well, apparently not. Also, if I'm playing a game to review, I'll usually be playing it during my work hours, which I have the period between lunch and dinner is usually my set aside play video games for work time.
When's lunch and dinner? So between about noon and 5?
Dinner
For those
at
aren't-
5?
I don't. I'm
Crazy.
suggesting. I can see you with an old person clock.
I usually do like noon till lunch at noon and dinner at 6, but I'll try to like stop playing maybe like an hour before dinner to unwind a bit.
5? Crazy. 6? That's more like it.
Well, 5 isn't technically evening yet, and dinner is an evening meal.
Oh.
I'd say 6 is the
that.
threshold of evening. That's just how I was raised. I'm sorry.
Apologize for that 1 hour.
Yahtzee. Yes. You often refer to Resident Evil 4 as the only good one. Certainly do. I did last time we played this, actually. Providing story reasons. Do you consider it a good survival horror game gameplay-wise? And why? By Slow64. Yes, I do. And I think we discussed this last time, but it pulled off almost a new kind of combat, which was a sort of back-to-the-wall, have to stand still to shoot, sort of sense of encroaching danger, which I thought was quite effective.
The Horde.
Quite effective for the B-movie horror theme they were going for.
It really finally got across the Horde.
Yes, it did. Unlike those 4 dudes who came in the window earlier.
Yeah. Alright, I fucking finally used the rest of that. Yeah, because that was just 4 guys. I mean, this is survival horror. That really got, like, the kind of active, Night of the Living Dead. There's a lot of them. Like, they even did The Room.
Yeah. And it's also good gameplay-wise because it mixes up the gameplay a lot. There's a lot of
Mounted gun
unique
stuff.
set pieces and interesting stuff. Like, some genuinely unnerving stuff, like the fight with the right hand in the underground tunnels.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
Your right hand comes off.
Yep, and off it goes.
Yahtzee. Just moving on, because why not? Where can we go to find the Consuming Shadows soundtrack? By Meatbag Central. Well, you could buy the Consuming Shadow. But when you ask for the soundtrack, that's kind of an awkward thing to ask for, because...
It's not yours.
Well, it's Mark Hadley's, of course. You can go to Mark Hadley and ask him for it, because it's his thing that he made, and I didn't stake a permanent claim over it or anything, so it's up to him what he does with it. But the fact is, some of it was procedural. Like when you're in the car, there's a backing track, and the sort of weird piano lilts that play now and then are randomly generated.
Ah.
So there's the intro songs and the outro songs aren't, but a lot of the rest of the audio is, as I say, procedural. So
I wonder what's in here. Oh, hey, buddy.
It's a zombie. I would not have guessed that. And what looks like a butt plug. Oh no, it's a
Bat
battery
plug.
pack.
Bat plug. I thought there was going to be something up a little... Oh, fiddlesticks.
Where did he spring from?
He was on the ground.
Everyone's wearing...
Alright, now, fat dude. Oh.
Why is everyone
Taser.
wearing earth tones in this game?
Well, they go well with decaying flesh. Yeah,
Decaying
oh, there we
flesh?
are. Read it.
Played poker tonight with Scott and Elias from security and Steve from research. Steve was the big winner, but I think he was cheating. Scumbag. One of the higher-ups assigned me to take care of a new creature. It looks like a skinned gorilla. Feeding instructions were to give it live animals? When I threw in a pig, the creature seemed to play with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before it actually started eating. At around 5 a.m., Scott woke me up, scared the shit out of me too. He was wearing a protective suit. He handed me another one and told me to put it on. Said there'd been an accident in the basement lab.
That sounds like a metaphor for pooping.
I just knew something like this would happen. Those bastards in research never sleep, even on holiday. I've been wearing the damn spacesuit since yesterday. My skin's getting grimy and feels itchy all over. The goddamn dogs have been looking at me funny, so I decided not to feed them today. Screw 'em. Went to the infirmary because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on it and told me I didn't need to wear the suit anymore. All I want to do is sleep and have some fun. I've got a feeling that I'm not the only one. Found another big blister on my foot this morning. I ended up dragging my foot all the way to the dog's pen. I'm turning into Prince Charles now.
It really is.
They were quiet all day, which is weird. Then I realized some of them had escaped. Maybe this is their way of getting back at me for not feeding them the last 3 days. If anybody finds out, I'll have my head handed to me. Rumours going around that a researcher who tried to escape the estate last night was shot. My entire body feels hot and itchy, and I'm sweating all the time now. I scratched the swelling on my arm and a piece of rotten flesh just dropped off. What the hell's happening to me? If only I was some kind of scientist who could...
He isn't, he's a dog keeper.
Oh, right. Fever gone, but itchy. Today hungry, and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy. Scott came. Ugly face. So killed him. Tasty. Itchy. Tasty. Scratchy. And poochy.
And there it is, the best piece of writing that Resident Evil will ever manage.
Well, I hope it was worth it. We've got a whole... whatever else is left.
Yeah, we're popping along.
So where would you say we're at percentage-wise of the game?
Probably in the 30s. Maybe just getting up, maybe 30s or 40s.
Boom, blimey.
Well, I'm trying to remember, because I remember it goes a lot faster than you think it does once you start getting out of the mansion. Like, it sort of speeds up.
Why haven't you uploaded your XCOM mission name list anywhere? Seriously, asks your Lord in Savoury. Because then that would spoil it? And we might get a really funny one? Like when we got Creamy Boogaloo last time? We hadn't had Boogaloo before.
Boogaloo. Maybe after, like, the whole playthrough or something, you could do that.
Yeah, maybe.
You could stop whining.
Or just make up your own funny name word list.
Yeah, because really that's,
Just open up the file, which is...
That's hardly Oscar-winning. Like, you put Boogaloo and titties and stuff in there. Like, people can do that at home.
Yeah, just think of your personal favourite inherently funny words. That's what I did.
I like Bumble. I've always been partial to Bumble.
You really are, aren't you? Now that you mention it.
Did I?
Did you what?
I don't know. Well, there's meant to be a yellow gemstone as well, and I just can't remember if I sworn I got it. There's a blue one. Alright, where's the yellow one? I gotta work that out.
What's yellow? Topaz? Is topaz yellow?
I don't know.
Amber?
Amber. Are we finished now? How long have we been going?
Are we saving?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can finish now if you want.
Cool.
We're done an hour and a bit.
Okie dokie. Jill 8. Medical storage room. Yeah.
Well, that explains why she's so fat.
Butt shots.
Yes, let's close on more of those butt shots you seem to like.
It satisfies the urges.
So thanks for enjoying another exploration of very similar grimy rooms.
Yep.
Next week, more silly mission names in as we continue the fight against the alien threat as opposed to the undead one. Man, we're spreading ourselves thin when it comes to global threats. Okay, that's quite a twerk she's got going on there. I like how her little bum pack goes up and down with it.
Got a bit of a wiggle to it.
And now the final joke. Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Why?
Because 7 used to run with the IRA. See you next time.
Bye.